We have here verse 68 of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John. We are reaching the end of this chapter. We find that Jesus has been saying some hard things. It's thinning the crowd. People are beginning to scratch their heads, wonder just exactly what to make of these very hard and sometimes harsh things that Jesus is indicating to them. Of course, he's also explained in some ways the reason that some of them don't believe. It's not possible for a person to believe unless it's given to him by the Father, the plain sense of what Jesus says here, and that itself may have been something that was beginning to cause them to lose confidence. But one way or another, Jesus finally winds up simply addressing himself, at least as John is presenting the story to the 12. The others have gone. At this point, it's a lonely conversation, you might say, that Jesus is now having with just these who are remaining there with him. And so we have him asking the question, what about you guys? Are you also going to go away? And he asked the question, of course, expecting a negative answer. We looked at that in the previous verse. You're not also going to go away as well, are you? And of course, they are not going to. And Peter gives the well-known answer here, beginning in verse 68. Apokrithe. This is from apokrinomai, I answer. It takes the dative. This is the aorist, and it's passive in form, of course active in meaning, deponent verb. So apokrithe, he answered, takes the dative, auto, dative singular, masculine pronoun. So he answered him, Simon Petros. Simon Peter, the subject of the verb, answered him, saying, Kyria. This, of course, is the vocative of the word kurios, which means Lord, so it is in this form, Kyria, Lord. Pros, the preposition means to or toward, usually implies action or movement, so pros tina, this is the indefinite pronoun, but it's also an interrogative pronoun when it has the accent, and that's really the notion here. It's being formed as a question, in fact, so pros tina, to whom, apolusometha. This is from erchomai, I come or I go. In the future, it's elusomai, I will come or I will go. The first person plural is elusometha. This has the prefix ap, which means to go away. So really the force of the question is, Lord, to whom are we going to go away? Who are we going to go to? Which would be the replacement for you who have been the one leading us thus far. It's a question that almost implies, some have seen in it a little bit of sort of mild frustration, as if Peter might be saying, look, we'd like to go away. This is difficult enough, but there's really no one else who qualifies, no one else who commands our allegiance as you do. And that really is the force of what he says next. Hremata, from hrema, the word for word, distinguished from the word logos. This is plural, words. It's not the words, by the way, ta rhemata, but simply words implying quality. And that really suggests it's not so much the particular words that Jesus is saying, but just the words themselves, the force, the power of the words spoken by Jesus. Words, zoes, genitive of that word, words of life, and then aioniou, eternal, or ages, of the ages. Life of eternal ages, or words of life of the ages. Eternal life is really the sense of it, carried over idiomatically into English. Those are the words, ekes, second person singular, referring of course to Jesus himself. These are the words that you have. Echo means I have, and this is the present of that verb. So Peter asked the question, theoretically maybe we could go away, but where are we going to go? Who are we going to go to? There's only one that we know of, one who has these words of eternal life. You've already told us in the immediately preceding context that the words you speak are life, and that those who hear them, embrace them, believe them, have within them life. It is, as it were, eating his flesh, drinking his blood. And that's the only source we know of is for these words of eternal life. And so where else are we going to go? Peter responds. And of course, this is halfway through the sentence. The rest of it will come in the next verse as he continues and completes this thought.